Hello, everyone. Welcome to another captivating episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. In the dynamic landscape of India's real estate sector, a raft of factors is propelling the industry towards a trajectory of unprecedented growth. The sector is witnessing a surge in demand for housing and commercial spaces in urban areas. The government data shows that the nation's urban population, which is at 31.8%, is expected to rise over 38% by the middle of the next decade. Fortunately, the Indian cabinet is ready to tackle the rapid urbanization challenge. It recently approved 12 new industrial smart cities with a massive investment of Rs 28,602 crore. The policy decision aims to ease congestion in major urban centers and strengthen the Golden Quadrilateral network. These smart cities will span 10 states and key industrial corridors and revolve around plug and play and walk to walk concepts. Besides decongestion of overcrowded metro cities, these 12 smart cities offer opportunities for consumers, investors alike in India's bid to become the third largest economy by 2027, surpassing Germany and Japan. The Narendra Modi led government has been relentlessly unleashing reforms to boost the realty sector. For instance, the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, or popularly known as Rera, has been an integral part of this transformative journey. The regulation has ushered in transparency and accountability. Similarly, the Goods and Services Tax (GST) has streamlined the real estate transactions and injected efficiency into the sunshine sector. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is further amplifying the focus on affordable housing and inclusivity. The alignment of urbanization, rising disposable incomes, and judicious government interventions have positioned the sector on the cusp of unparalleled potential. The realty market is estimated to grow to $300 billion by 2030. To help us understand the government's policy decision and prevailing trends, we have with us today Shrutikirti Kumar, a partner at Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas Company, and is part of the general corporate practice. Shrutikirti has advised both domestic and foreign clients on a variety of issues involving real estate investments, structuring transactions, acquisitions, development, and collaboration projects, construction contracts, construction and development tenders, and bids and service arrangements. Hello and a warm welcome, Shrutikirti. Delighted to have you on the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and it's great work that you're doing on this podcast.
To begin with, let's start off with a basic but very visible and fundamental question. Of late, the real estate sector has been getting a lot of policy attention, especially with regard to the union budget for 2024-25, which was presented in July this year. One of the big changes in the budget was, of course, the initial removal of the indexation benefits for property transactions and then its partial restoration after the industry's feedback. How do you see this policy decision playing out for buyers, including the NRIs, who appear to be on a shopping spree?
So, you're absolutely right. The budget did bring about a change in the long term capital gains tax. Let me just briefly get into what the long term capital gains tax means. It is the tax levied on profit on sale of immovable property, and the earlier regime was levy of long term capital gains tax at 20% with an indexation benefit, which basically means that to compute the profit to be taxed, the cost of the asset transferred could be adjusted to inflation. The new regime is levy of capital gains tax at a flat 12.5%. But post the industry feedback, a grandfathering provision was added, and for properties bought before July 2024 for resident individuals, they could either opt to be taxed at 20% with indexation benefit or 12.5% as per the new regime. But this grandfathering provision is not available to non resident individuals. And this move does provide relief to the market and helps with the market sentiment and keeps the momentum of the real estate sector. But in the long term, if this decision remains unchanged and it remains at 12.5%, then investors will have to align their investments in line with this new rate of long term capital gains tax.
Absolutely. And speaking of opportunities, the government's recent approval for 12 new smart cities is huge, isn't it? It aims to
Right.
decongest our metros and open up new investment avenues. In your view, how will this move the needle for both domestic and NRI buyers?
So, like you rightly mentioned, the smart city mission is one of the flagship programs of this government, and it started with 100 cities in 2015. The objective, just to briefly explain, is to ensure comprehensive development, core infrastructure, along with sustainable development. The core infrastructure includes aspects such as water, electricity, sanitation, transport, safety, security, etc. And this recent addition by the Cabinet Committee of approving 12 industrial smart cities is a huge plus to this initiative of the government. And the intention is to have world class greenfield industrial smart cities. And as you mentioned, they will be on the plug and play and walk to work concepts. We do see that this will be a huge push and will help to shape the real estate market. One, as rightly mentioned by you, it will decongest the metros. Second, it will create demand in these cities by providing improved quality of life, infrastructure, and employment opportunities. We are also seeing traction insofar as global capability centers are considered. These are also moving to tier 2, tier 2, 3 cities. So, this could also create a market opportunity. And lastly, it will also provide investment opportunities of a smaller ticket size, because these will be tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? So it will help investors to diversify their investment.
Shrutikirti, Rera has been around for close to a decade now.
Right.
In your view, how has it helped the home buyers as far as transparency and trust in the real estate sector is concerned?
So you're right, and Rera has undoubtedly been an instrument of change for the real estate market. And previously, there was no such standardized framework to govern the relationship between developers and buyers. And what Rera has brought in is a standard framework across states, which will be implemented by the states. To unpack that, a few instances of the safeguards that RERA provides are: one, registration of a project even before it can be sold or booked by the developer. Number of disclosures need to be made at the time of registration, whether it is plans, specifications, the timeline of the project, etc. So these plans cannot be changed without the permission of the buyers. A second big provision is the designated account. The monies received from the buyers need to be deposited into a designated account, and 70% of it has to be kept in the account and can only be withdrawn in proportion to the construction of the project. This eliminates the earlier practice of diverting funds from one project to another and secures the money spent by the buyers. Another plus from this act is state level authorities, which help in enforcing the provisions of this act and redress the grievances of the buyers. And there is also a provision for repair of structural workmanship and defects by the developer for 5 years from possession. So, over the last 7 or 8 years, RERA has been evolving, and there are a few aspects such as speedier grievance resolution, more clarity on what structural defect actually means. So, these things need to be clarified and fixed, but we are moving in the right direction for sure. I would like to mention here that authorities in Maharashtra, Haryana, Karnataka have been pioneers in implementation of RERA and providing clarificatory provisions, etc. So,
Absolutely.
RERA has induced transparency and accountability in the market and enhanced confidence. And the positive impact of RERA is undeniable, I would say.
Absolutely. One of the visible changes that we have been noticing in the Indian realty sector is also the surge in NRI investments. Do you think RERA has boosted the confidence in the realty sector?
Definitely. Like I mentioned, RERA's implementation has improved the perception of the Indian real estate market. and it has provided the face of an attractive investment destination for NRIs. And there is a general interest in being part of India's growth story, so to speak. In fact, NRIs we are also seeing are pivoting towards luxury segment because there is this availability of state of the art luxury projects in the real estate sector. So that is one path that we are seeing for investment. And interestingly, as per a survey recently, NRI investment in real estate is projected to grow to 20% of the total real estate investments by 2025.
Absolutely. You know, in your view, what are the other reforms you think could push the sector's growth further, especially with NRI investments in new smart city initiatives on the horizon?
So, for context, like you rightly mentioned right at the beginning, the volume of the real estate market is huge, right? The expectation is for it to grow to 1.3 trillion by 2034. And government in the last decade has demonstrated its focus and support by giving various policy benefits. In my opinion, a few measures which could further push this sector is one, streamlining approvals and where possible providing single window clearances. This helps in making the project timeline speedier and reduces the number of authorities that need to be approached by a developer. Second is digitization of ownership records. This has already been underway for a while now, and a further push has been given in the recent budget, where the government has introduced systemic change initiatives such as Bhu Aadhaar, unique land parcel identification, etc. And this results in speedier land identification as well as clarity on the ownership of the land that is being used for a real estate project. Another change that could benefit is increasing the price cap from 45 lakh to account for market variations across cities. This will make the affordable housing linked policy benefits available in a more pervasive manner.
Absolutely. Finally, I would like to know views on GST. The cut in GST rates on under construction properties was a big relief to the
Right.
sector. How has it impacted the market?
It has impacted the market positively. The reduction was significant. It was from 12% to 5% for residential properties, and for affordable housing from 8% to 1%. So, this has significantly improved the sale of under construction inventory. It has boosted developer confidence, and it has reduced the cost of buying an under construction unit in the hands of the buyer, and this is especially encouraging for first time home buyers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shrutikirti, for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us and sharing your deep insights and perspectives. That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insights on real estate industry in India. Whether you are a pro or a beginner, we are here to keep you informed and entertained in the world of Indian real estate. This is Keeping It Real by Housing.com, where we keep it real always. You can catch the episode on housing.com, on the housing.com app, on the YouTube channel of housing.com, on earshot.in, on spotify.com, on Apple Podcasts, on YT Music, on ghana.com, and JioSavan. Take care and stay safe.